You know what? Jesus really isn't cool, not by our world standards, not by pop culture standards. In fact, Christians aren't cool either. The harder Christians try to do cool, the goofier we look. Have you noticed that? I mean, come on. Just watch Christian TV and it's like a goofy fest. I guess Jesus really loves us after all. But we don't have to try to make Jesus cool, really. In fact, the coolest that Christians ever get is when we finally get over ourselves and stop trying to be cool and just be us. As screwed up and as messed up and as sinful as we are, just be us and stop trying to make Jesus look like the guy in the commercials with a cigarette and a beer, an earring and a lot of product in his hair. So in case you're wondering, does the Bible have anything directly to say about being cool? I think it does. One of my favorite verses, it's hard to swallow, is Ephesians 6:6. It's the part that talks about children obeying your parents in the Lord, for this is right, and the part about, slaves, be obedient to your masters, and also the part that the kids like, which says, and parents, do not provoke your children to wrath, that part. And then it also says this, and I'm going to say it in the old King James because it sounds really official when you talk in King James. It says, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as bond servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart. Not with eye service. I memorized this when I was a little kid. Not with eye service as men pleasers. You think you can still be cool and follow Jesus, not with eye service as men pleasers? That's what we want. We want the cool Jesus. We want the Jesus that is pleasing to the eye. The one that would please us all. And he never seems to show up. I translated this into what I call the TV, the Toby version, the TV. Follow God like Jesus by serving your authorities with all your heart, not to look cool. Got me? Follow the people in charge of you like Jesus followed God, not to look cool. Man, if we ever had a society that was obsessed with the way it looks being done instead of the task accomplished, this one's it. We are so concerned to look right, even when we look so bad. I mean, you go on TV to confess the worst sin you ever had as a politician. You can't get on TV without first putting on a $2,000 suit, getting a $500 haircut. You know what I'm talking about? We are obsessed with the way it looks, not with actually what we do. We are more interested in the packaging than we are the message. We are more interested in the messenger than we are the message. And every time people took Jesus that way, he ran away. Every time they took him that way, he did something purposefully uncool to just show us you are shockingly out of accord with God. You think it was cool for Moses to trek across the desert with a bunch of ungrates? You think it was cool? You think it was cool for Jesus, the King of the universe, to be born into the house of Mary and Joseph in Nazareth? Very uncool. Do you think it was cool as a 13-year-old to be pregnant with God's baby and try to explain that to everybody? Oh man, uncool. Very uncool. But it isn't really our job as Christians to make Jesus look cool. In fact, maybe the desire to make him look cool is the sin itself. Maybe if we would just love Jesus more and didn't worry about what it looked like, maybe we really would see people come into the kingdom of God the way Jesus saw people come into the kingdom of God. Our job isn't to make Jesus look cool. Our job is to love the uncool, the disenfranchised, the people pushed out who were told, not you. You don't have the right labels on your clothing. You weren't born on the right part of town. You didn't get the right kind of education. Those are the people we're supposed to love. Into the kingdom. The Samaritans. The Gentiles. The unwashed. Because guess who we are? Them. Why do we follow Jesus to begin with? Are we hoping he will let us follow him and still be cool? What if we had to make a choice between following Jesus or being cool? I wonder, would we feel torn apart? What if the most important thing in our life wasn't how we looked? What if we realized the desire to be cool isn't a desire that comes from Jesus at all? Would it be enough to just know, even when we're not cool, that we're his? Would it be enough to know that we belong to Jesus? Period. Would that be enough? So if you're looking for the cool Jesus, he's not to be found. He is the uncool. No matter how much polished gold you put on the cross, it still isn't very pretty. No matter how you tell the story of a young man who was beaten and hung naked, spread eagle on a cross above the town garbage dump, it's not cool. It's not cool what Jesus had to do for us. It's not. But then again, he is the uncool. He's never cool, but he will save you.